What's up, y'all? Today, technically, is the 17th of April, 2025, because it's past midnight. It's the 16th, right? But my name is Evan Strong, the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. Welcome to In The Image Clothing Company podcast, where we have discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ, aka the truth of all things. Bold, tell me about it. This is 1/3 of our company as a whole, In The Image Clothing Company. I'll get into the intro. I'll talk about where clothing sits as I do, and then we'll get into this discussion. Episode 102, okay, of In The Image Clothing Company podcast, titled The Standard Poodles Will Come. And that's literal. That's not some metaphor. So stick around, meaning through the intro, and I'll talk about what I mean. And yeah, I'll play some type of guitar thing as I have been doing, right? Yeah, brother. All right, so cool. This is no joke. I know I just said it, but I want to make it very clear before I get into the intro, before I get any farther with talking about this at all. No joke. I mean, word for word, yes. These standard poodles will come in the life of Evan Strong and all throughout what we do under In The Image Clothing Company, as long as I'm a part of it, and I'm the founder. So my whole life is what I'm saying, all right? I'm not joking. I'm not making some kind of thing. I'm not doing this because of some kind of reason. I'm not hoping for something. I'm convicted as all get out, dude, and it's nuts. And so I'll get into it. So In The Image Clothing Company, dude, I mean, I was in tears a few minutes ago. And I've been talking about standard poodles for, I don't know, close to a month here and there on In The Image Clothing Company podcast episodes. It's not some joke, and it's not some kind of thing. I get convicted, brother, because I just made a little clip filming myself, just a documentation saying similar things to what I'll put in here. But, you know, when I first founded In The Image Clothing Company, I made a little 3-minute something second video saying, yeah, I feel like I'm going to start a clothing company. It's something that just feels like should happen, and I'm convicted of it. And now we're on episode 102 of 1/3 of our company, which is In The Image Clothing Company podcast, just 7 or 8 months later, right? So, as I've said, when I first got my first guitar, I didn't really know why, but I said I was going to play guitar for the rest of my life, and I was just so convicted of it. Now here I am. I've owned 20 guitars of my own, set them all up myself many times, learned all that I've needed to allow the body to work through guitars. And there's a whole third of our company, In The Image Clothing Company Music, that is about sizings and setups of guitars. So I get convicted of stuff, and I say it because I mean it. I don't say stuff that's not real. I don't say things I don't mean. I'm not just out here wasting my breath on things. I'm not just out here trying to make content for some kind of internet trend. I don't care, dude, about people in those kind of ways. I don't care to please anybody. I don't care to try to hype something up. And I cannot shake this. Standard poodles, dude. And I'll talk about it, and I already am, but we should probably throw an intro in here. So, one of the third of our company sides is In The Image Clothing Company, the main side. And really what we do physically under In The Image Clothing Company, and I'll give some more context in this intro, for dogs, which will come when it comes as far as the bulk of what we're really doing with dogs. We won't really start doing so much of it until we do, right? But physically, In The Image Clothing Company, keyword allows the human body to work. That's what we do. We come at it through the skeletal system of the body. The thing that doesn't change, the fat content changes. The muscle mass changes at different times in our lives. The human body has a neutral position in all of its joints in the skeletal frame, and it just needs to be allowed to reside within that. But we place clothing onto us, and clothing has to be intentional. There's a center line of the human being. We live on an earth that pulls us straight down with gravity. There's the sternum, behind it, the spine, right here in our throat, the trachea, the nose, and then the jaw, which stabilizes the entire body naturally. Those things have to stay in the center of the human being. Clothing, any imbalance whatsoever, will imbalance the body. Weight-wise, size-wise, oversized clothing is such a damaging imbalance. Seams, you introduce ropes to the body and there's so much potential for damage. Heels on shoes, tags in clothing, stretchy materials when muscles contract, which is the opposite direction of stretch. This is in the Image Clothing Company physically, okay? Also, though, as I've been talking about recently on some of these more recent episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, we're going to do stuff with dogs. We'll have clothing for human beings, staying centered, fitting correct, allowing the body to work. By those things being the case, 100% natural materials is what it will be made out of because the human body's natural. We just are what we have eaten. But I've been saying, and it's not me claiming something, it's not me hoping for something. We're doing stuff for dogs as well. That's going to be just as much what we are as any of the other three sides. Really, the main side of In the Image Clothing Company will have dogs being as much a part of that as human beings. No joke, not some kind of claim, not some kind of thing for a time. This is what we are. And there was an episode, I am just feeling this so deeply, of In the Image Clothing Company podcast titled Dogs, Children, Teenagers, and Adults. I think it was episode 99, just a few episodes back. And that's when I really started talking about it. More than just me having poodles, I've referenced that, but things like collars and leashes we'll have. Button-up shirts and t-shirts we'll have. Pants and shorts we'll have, right? In the Image Clothing Company. But also for dogs. It's not a joke. I'm not making this some kind of hypothetical. I throw a lot of hypotheticals around sometimes when I play with words and when I relate things to other things, talking about our God himself, the one who designed our bodies in his image, Jesus Christ. This is not some kind of hypothetical. I said it, I'll say it. This is real. We're going to have things for dogs. And me personally, Evan Strong, I'm going to have standard poodles and not only just have them, but breed them. I'm not sitting here trying to have something happen out of me, dude. When I say something, I mean it. I can be wrong, and sure, but this is not one of those things that I'm wrong about. There's no kind of hope. I could not explain to you the level of conviction that you can probably see, but man. All right, so there we go. 1/3 of our company that's not this one, meaning the second of the three. The human body's natural function, and dogs as well. Human beings of all ages, right? We also address standing, sitting, sleeping, eating, staying hydrated, doing these things naturally, all the functions of the human body physically. It's just a mechanical machine. So are dogs, and they have things placed onto them that doesn't allow them to breathe, doesn't allow them to look up, doesn't allow their spine to stay neutral. It doesn't allow them to even be able to listen to commands of owners trying to train them because there's distraction with so much that we'll get into, and we'll get into it, dude. If you know anything about In the Image Clothing Company at all up until me saying these words right now, you know we get into it. When I talk about things, I talk about things. Our videos are lengthy. I discuss the anatomy of the human body in such depth. I leave all opinions aside that I can possibly leave aside. I'm human, dude, as everyone else is. I'm sinful, and I'm not perfect at explaining stuff, and I've got my opinions, even though I don't want to ever have them, and they don't serve us in any way. But, dude, we're going to get talking about dogs. It's not some joke, all right? It's not some kind of thing. And you know it. When I start talking like this boldly about something, dude, it's because it's just as real as it gets, okay? So, I mean, I'm crying, dude. I've been crying about this. I can't explain to you. It seems silly to me. It's like, dogs? You know, I love dogs, but like, what? I'm feeling this way about this? Yeah, I am. Because it's real. All right? So, yeah. It's like a two-part thing. It's a whole part of In The Image Clothing Company, but also it's just my life. I'm going to have poodles. So, I mean, so much stuff, dude. Dog owners getting upset with their dogs, and we're going to give so much context on why they're not listening, and just so much that people don't understand. It's like I talk about, I know how much my body's been transformed, and through that, my entire life and my emotions, my ability to just feel emotions and let emotions flow and recover from things and bounce back and stay centered physically and with Christ. I mean, there's been so much that's happened to my personal life through founding In The Image Clothing Company, and that's available for everybody. And dogs are a huge part of people's lives, man. Service dogs and emotional support dogs. Dogs are just family members and companions. Working dogs and show dogs. You've got all sorts of things that come with dogs. They're not just pets. To some people, they don't really care so much, and that's fine. To some other people, though, it's almost their whole life. And I guess I'm one of those people. I can't explain to you how real this is. I'm not doing it for some certain reason. I'm doing it because God's saying to do it. So, expect it. Hold me to it, you know? I mean, don't get after me. I'm just saying. When I say stuff like this, talking this way, it happens. I got 102 in the Image Clothing Company podcast behind me, dude. Because I said I was going to start a clothing company, and it wasn't my choice, all right? It's not my choice to get dogs and to incorporate them into In The Image Clothing Company just as much as we talk about human beings. It's just going to happen, all right? You don't got to care. I'm just giving context. I'm just talking about it because just wait and see. I don't get this way about stuff, dude. I mean, I do. Only if it's real. It's silly to me, dude. So, all right, there we go. Another third of our company is another one of those things that I got so convicted about, and now here I am. All right, with a whole third of a company geared around guitars. In the Image Clothing Company music, I actually pretty much said it already a few minutes ago. But yeah, sizings and setups of guitars. There's only one way the hand works. The hand is essentially the shoulder, just as the feet are essentially the hips. People who play guitars can get into chronic patternings that affects their entire life through the entirety of the rest of it because scar tissue builds up that sometimes doesn't ever go away. People have shoulder damage and forearm stiffness and hand arthritis because incorrect setups and flat fretboards when our hands are rounded. Too big of guitars when the human being works the best closest to its own center line. So yeah, it's as real as it gets, obvious as it is once you see it. The things we talk about under this beautiful place I've been given in the Image Clothing Company. So Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm pouting about it. I sure am. Because I'm loved more than I can understand. All right. I love God so much. Okay, so clothing for everybody. If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're tall or short, if you're skinny or fat, if you're from any part of the earth or any time period, it's always the same. Pants need to be entirely above the hips because the pelvis has a lot of functions and it can't be restricted. The waistline has to be slightly higher in the front because the core muscles have to contract to work. Top seams that we wear on the tops of our shoulders, gosh, they need to be evenly behind the bones on the peak of our shoulders because that's our collarbones. The end of them that's not the end that comes down here to the sternum. That keeps our shoulders in their only working position, which is behind our head. The upper trapezius muscles connect to the very base of the rear of the skull, along the spine of the neck, called the cervical spine, and to the top/rear of the shoulder. We have to keep our shoulders in their only working position. The edge seams of the shoulders need to be right where the functionality of the joint is. Two things we call prerequisites under In The Image Clothing Company, just to not restrict the body. Conditional, because there's not always shoelaces and shoes. There's not always tags in clothing. Shoelaces are just a rope. There's only one way to weave them across the top of the human foot and not alter the structural system of the body. That's In The Image Clothing Company's shoelacing technique. With that, you have to tie your shoes over toward the inside on both feet evenly because there's a center line of the human being. So much rotation issue happening within people. Drawstrings and shoelaces are two of the biggest things doing that. Dogs have collars placed on them that just twist their head and their neck, and oh my gosh. Stuff I've seen my whole life and didn't understand until now. I'm here for the long haul. If you know, you know, and if not, I'm going to tell you right now. Episode 100 of In The Image Clothing Company podcast is titled Laying a Foundation. We are just getting started. This is not a joke. This is not some kind of silly thing. It's not something you can choose. It's your body only works how it does or it doesn't work. And it's your dog is either being damaged or you're letting it live. It's not a joke, dude. I don't care if you care, but you're suffering the consequences of what clothing's doing to your body. If you don't care, it's up to you. We don't know what we don't know, dude. And we're trying so hard here to just give the truth to the whole earth. So, second prerequisite under In The Image Clothing Company is to remove all tags within shoes and anywhere in clothing. They're either causing a physical gap, changing the skeletal system's only working position, but really, yes, the body's being damaged, dude. Musculature can't activate against synthetic materials, and tags are made out of them, all right? So you've got muscles just not working. The body's trying to compensate, and it can't. Anywhere any of it goes, all of it does. And so, cool, all right? It's unreal. There's no opinion to any of this stuff that we talk about, dude. I'm imperfect, and I always will be in this life, but, I'm not going to be saying that I don't waste my breath with stuff and then get so worked up over something that's an opinion. So, yeah. All right? Cool. So, yeah. I'm going to have standard poodles. You don't really got to care so much about my own personal life, about my dog ownership, but, this is In The Image Clothing Company podcast, and the whole point of this third of the company is to talk about God and how he tells us things sometimes, and we don't know what's going on other than what he said. And I'm sharing my testimony here, man, and I'm being vulnerable here, man, and I'm removing my record from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You know, my membership. And then I'm putting it back in about 13 months after. And I'm a different person because of it, all right? And I'm showing my mistakes so other people can grow from them, all right? And so I'm going to sit here and be as real as I am, all right? And if I'm being convicted to talk about standard poodles, a very specific dog breed, on a podcast that's titled A Clothing Company, that's really about something that sounds like a religion, and holy cow, what's going on? I'm gonna do it, all right? And I don't care if it makes any sense, but there's reasons to all this stuff, dude, and it's as real as it gets. So, I'm gonna breed some standard poodles, all right? Stick around if you want. Stop back in 5 years. I don't care. Do whatever you do. But I'm speaking stuff as it is, bro. And my life has been changed. Sometimes we just get told things. We kind of laugh at it a little bit, you know? Like me sitting here like, all right, God, I'll do it. I don't know why. I say it, bro. These podcast episodes are numbered, man. I'm not sitting here trying to make some kind of thing that I could delete later and be like, pretending it didn't happen. I'm saying with certainty, I'm going to be breeding standard poodles. What's that all about? It doesn't make sense. You know, Moses probably sitting there looking at this big old sea, though, and wondering, how am I going to part these waters, right? I don't care how big or small something is perceived to be. The point is God and listening. I don't care, dude. I don't care. I'm being shown more and more and more what really happens when you surrender, when things make no sense. So here we are, dude. I'm trying so hard to please no one but God. And it's just working, all right? It's just working. It's the only thing that could work. How convenient, brother. These stitches have been here for every single one of these episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast, filmed in this location. And I'm actually going to use one right now. It's my grandparents' room in a house I haven't paid any rent for and lived here for 3 years. What is going on? It's the whole company, dude. I'm a whole different person. I didn't do any of it. I'm sitting here talking about something I don't even know, bro. How do you like that? Blowing the nose. A podcast. I want real, dude. I don't care. All right. I can't tell you in the slightest bit of explanation of what it's going to look like or how that's going to possibly happen, where I'm going to get the money, where I'm going to live, how it's going to fit into my family, my future wife and kids. But I can tell you with absolute 100% certainty, I'm going to be breeding standard poodles. I can tell you with absolute 100% certainty, we will have leashes and collars that we sell, along with In the Image Clothing Company clothing. Don't believe me? How many times you hear me say that? You got so many times you could hear me be saying that. past episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Don't believe me on nothing, dude. I'm not sitting here trying to convince anybody or anything. I said the word or, I meant of anything. You don't gotta care in the slightest. You don't gotta listen to a word I say. But I'm doing this because God says do it. And here I am. I got good posture. My body works. I know how it works, and I explain it thoroughly. I know how to let it be that. I went from a state of living in absolute hell because I turned my back on the true church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to being able to get rebaptized. And now I'm more convicted than ever on who Jesus Christ really is. I don't know what's going on, but I'm doing it, all right? So I'm going to breed some standard poodles. And I'm not saying this for some kind of validation. For someone to care so I could vent, so hopefully someone out there might have a ear to hear something and it'll help me. No, I don't care. I'm saying this because I'm being prompted to say this, all right? I don't know, brother. I got no idea how this could really even help much of anything right now to be doing, but I'm doing it. You want real, dude? I want real. You guys want real, you want to stick around here, dude. In the Image Clothing Company, it doesn't get more real than I'm trying to make it. I'm trying, that's the point. I'm trying. I am trying so hard to please God. I couldn't care less about the world, dude. I couldn't care less about a single thing that I want. I care so much about Jesus Christ. It's something I couldn't explain to you, and you wouldn't have to care if I did. I can't explain this kind of thing, dude. I'm crying about dogs, brother. What's this about? I don't get it. I don't get it, dude. But I get it. I get the feelings I get when I can't deny what God's telling me. And then I see what happens after I listen. I don't care, dude. I don't care. It's so weird. I have done so much wrong in my life. It's crazy, bro. I cannot even begin. And I'm being given this, dude. I don't even get it. It's a gift. Sit here and just pout about some stuff. Literally, I'm bawling my eyes out right now as a 25-year-old man over standard poodles. And I don't even know why. I'm documenting this under my clothing company podcast. I'm saying this is a testimony builder, and I don't know how that's going to play out after this gets filmed. I just know I'm supposed to do it, all right? Here I am, brother. What's up? We're on the Image Clothing Company podcast, bro. I'm sitting here talking about this. I want to help everybody I can know who Jesus Christ is, man. I want to help everybody. I want to help so bad. People don't see what I'm doing right now. And later they'll look back and they'll be like, man, we thought he was crazy. Now look at it. We were all wrong about it. And I don't gotta be right, but I'm doing stuff that's real here. And I'm only doing it to help. I'm only doing it for God. I'm doing it for His children. You guys, I can't explain to you how real this is, but you'll see it. There's a reason I say that phrase. I'm playing the long game. I don't need success by a certain time. I don't need success to look any certain kind of way. Success is being obedient to God, even if that means I'm losing things instead of gaining. This is successful. Because I don't get to decide, neither do you, but God is telling me, look, you're doing it. I don't care. I don't care if I die today, if I live 150 more years. I don't care about anything, dude, but Jesus Christ. And sometimes my sin's a little bit more. Until I get my head on straight. And then this kind of thing happens. The authenticity comes out. The rawness comes out. I'm sitting here expressing my love for a breed of dogs. As a testimony to God. Cool. I've never been more put together. I've never been so in control of my emotions. Talk about a paradox, right? As I'm sitting here crying. I've just been shown so many things. Yeah. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, brother. Something I was until I was 24, and then I wasn't. I never knew what I had until I didn't have it anymore. All right? Dude, I don't even care if I'm homeless. I don't know how to really explain why I keep saying that phrase, I don't care, but I just keep saying it. So, I'm going to be a dog breeder. I'm not joking about it. I'm not hearing it wrong. Regardless of how good you think I am at playing guitar, or you think I got some kind of complex of something, thinking I'm so much better than I am, I keep saying it, I'm going to be a professional guitarist. Don't believe me? I filmed a launch video on the 23rd of September, 2024. And I said, welcome. Something like, today's the day that this library of 70-something videos, I think it was somewhere around 77, turns into In the Image Clothing Company. I was saying, hey, we're going to have podcasts. We're going to have meetups. We'll have clothing available. It's a community and a familial place, and it's going to be huge. Now it's the 17th of April, 2025, and I'd say it's pretty big. 102 podcast episodes as of this one you're listening to. As just 1/3 of the company that started out as just some videos Evan Strong was making about clothing because I learned how to tie my shoes. Started cutting some tags out. Came up with the dreaded collar seam modification by praying to God. So when I say something, I mean it. You don't gotta care. There's a reason for it. And sometimes I don't even know why, like I'm saying here. I don't know. Standard poodle. I know I love him. I know I didn't really even know anything about him until about a month and a half ago. And I know that I'm going to be breeding them and owning them. And I know that I'm supposed to make an entire podcast episode talking about it. Yep. I'm just some kid, dude. I'm some kid that couldn't hold down a job, not because I'd get fired, but because I didn't want to go. So I'd quit because I'd rather not work. Even though I was a hard worker, you know. And I'm just a sensitive little boy, dude. I don't know how to schedule things. I don't know how to have employees. I don't know how to run a company. I don't know what it really means to breed dogs. I've been doing quite a bit of searching of I know quite a bit at this point, more than I did a month and a half ago, but because I guess I do. I know quite a bit, but I mean, I don't know how to do it personally. I haven't done it yet. I don't know how it's going to look in my own situation. I don't know how that's going to fit into being a husband and a father when that comes. I don't know how I'm going to run a clothing company and breed dogs at the same time. I don't know how I could have allowed myself to just not realize what I had when I was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints before I removed my records. But I guess that's why I did. Because now that I got rebaptized, I have an appreciation that I just didn't before. I don't know much, dude. I'm a really smart kid. I'm really smart. I'm wise. I have understanding. But I don't know much. I don't know how to even explain that, dude. But it's just the case. So I'm just some kid. If anyone's got any question, yeah, I'm a 25-year-old man. Yeah, I got a lot of life experience. I'm just a little boy. I'm God's child. I'm that little kid who I see photographs of at my 8-year-old baptism. The first time around, if you will. I'm just a kid, dude. I'm doing some big things because God's doing it through me. That's such a privilege, bro. To be able to have dogs. I don't have one yet, dog. Dog. I'm not joking about this, though. The more that I become a man, the more I feel like a kid. Yeah, the title's literal, dude. The standard poodles will come. I'll be sitting here filming episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast for the rest of my life. And I'll have standard poodles with me. This is a familial place. So welcome. Let me talk about it. Let me be vulnerable. Let me open up about my life. Let me leave all things in the open because I grew up with a house of secrets and lies and manipulation. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Because I have done that. I've been so closed off because my dad was. I've allowed myself to be the things that I started to do to cope and survive in such a scary situation growing up. I'm just a kid. Tried to act like this big, tough, tyrannical man because that's what I was raised by. I'll be as bold as I get. I'll cry as much as I do. I'll live the backward life. Whether it's under a bridge or in a relatively comfortable living space, dude, I don't care. I'll serve God till the day I die. I'll speak bold truths. I'll have standard poodles. The more I get rid of, the more I feel like I have. I have no expectations, and I haven't. I've talked to people recently, and they've asked me about my future. And I never knew as a kid. I didn't care because I didn't think I'd have one. I didn't know if life was going to even last past the situation I was in, and so I never thought about the future. It didn't matter. It didn't seem like a possibility. And I don't have any expectations, but I've been told some things by God. I don't say things that are not real. I don't sit here trying to make something happen. I don't sit here trying to make something that it isn't. You've heard me say that quite a bit. Meaning you can. Past episodes of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. I've said so many things wrong and done so many things wrong. Yeah. We all have. I have slandered the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, man. Turned my back on it. No wonder I was living in the situations that I was in times of my life. Because I can look back and see, bro. I can look back and see times that I was actually going to church and times that I was actually trying to be a member of the church that I was a part of. And my life was so much better. And I can look back and see the times when I'm a terrible person. That's a good thing, because God's perfect. And His perfection shines through in our weakness. And in our weakness is where His strength is allowed to actually be shown. And the whole point is bringing glory to Him. So let me just keep saying all the things I've done wrong publicly. I'm not asking you to let me, I'm just kind of telling you how it is. I'm shaking a little bit. Yeah, this is still about standard poodles, no joke. This is God's creation, man. They call dogs man's best friend. He created us both. It's not a joke, dude. It's not something. It's not some kind of joking thing. Not some kind of jokey thing, brother. I feel like there's something to play on the guitar. Dude. Drop it down a little bit. I think there's just such a level of like, I couldn't care less, dude. I turn my back on the world, and I'll turn it, and I'll turn it, and I'll turn it. I don't even care. Have all the expectations you want. Make up all the rules you want. I don't care. Condemn me for it. Lock me up for it. Kick me out for it. I don't care. Call me crazy. Call me weird. Say I'm taking advantage of things or people. Tell me I don't know what's going on. Tell me to grow up. I don't care. I will turn my back time and time again on the world. What are you going to do? Somebody gets a service dog and the next 15 years of their life, they have a best friend. People with all sorts of stuff. People who are mentally challenged or physically challenged. People with trauma and past and backgrounds they didn't ask for and they don't know how to deal with. Dogs help with that. People who don't really like to be around other human beings, but they know God and see Him in dogs. I made a video for the main site of the Image Clothing Company yesterday. And in it, I was just saying, look, I'm going to get so bold. I've been bold, but I'm going to get even more raw. We started raw. We started real. From the founding, we've been right? The phrase, as real as it gets. I'm going to take another layer off that, and it's no joke. I'm serving God. I'm pleasing God. I'm not going to sit here and try to cater to a single human being on a single thing. All right, cool. What? I do it all of a sudden because I'm scared? I'm a human being. But we're getting raw, even more than we have been. I will say some things that people just want to absolutely kill me for. The world's got a bunch of terrible things that they're pushing nowadays. Stuff like same-sex marriages. There's so much stuff going on nowadays, it's unreal. And I'm going to get so raw. I don't care what the outcome is. I'm pleasing God. Talk about paradoxical. This is a podcast episode for a clothing company talking about standard poodles. And I just mentioned same-sex marriage. How real can we get? There's a drawing of a temple and a painting of Jesus Christ. Where my eyes are going back and forth here. I'm holding a guitar that I don't want to play. And I'm not playing it all so well right now because I don't normally play what this is. It's not set up that great. And I'm just being obedient. I know that low E was pretty out of tune. Yeah. Think what you want, please. Just wait and see. Not so that I can have the last laugh, but so that I can do everything to glorify God. I couldn't take credit for a single flippin' thing, brother. God is my witness. God is my rock. He's the only one I take directions or orders from. I'm sitting here talking about standard poodles in this way. Don't ask me, bro. Just a messenger. Don't shoot. I'm just out here hanging out, dude. There was a song I wrote. Let me see. This guitar is so hard to play, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how it goes. I don't know. I really don't know. I want to be broken. I want to be bruised. I want to be beaten down. I want to serve God. I really don't remember how that song even goes, so cool. Who cares? This thing is so terribly set up, it's unreal. It's also steel string, and I play nylons with a radius. So sick, dude. Yeah. Let's see. Trying to find my way on this road, feeling like I run out of time. Trying to find my way on this road, slowing down never crossed my mind. Let me play this. Trying to find my way on this road. I gotta figure out how it actually goes. Trying to find my way on this road, feeling like I run out of time. Yeah, because I don't know how it goes. Trying to find my way on this road, feeling like I run out of time. Trying to find my way on this road, but slowing down never crossed my mind. Feeling like I run out of time. I gotta play this. I have to play this in this. I'm not saying something. I'm doing it. I'm trying to find my way on this road, feeling like I'm completely lost. Trying to find my way on this road, but I don't ever take the time to stop. First place will come and go, but I feel like I need it still. First place will come and go, but I'll get myself one more thrill. Trying to find my way on this road, feeling like I run out of time. Trying to find my way on this road, but slowing down never crossed my mind. It's for my grandkids. Living in an evil world, you know, and everyone trying to get you to be something. I'm sitting here on the floor, barely able to play this guitar for many reasons currently. Talking about something that's not happened yet, but I know will. Emotional. Yeah. Because here's the thing, you'll see the impact. You'll see how real this is if you don't already. And then you'll see how there's stuff like this going on at the same time. Unstructured podcast episodes. What's life really? And when have you made it? Who's to say? You know, it's weird. I've talked about things on In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Like, there's times for things, right? Times and places is a phrase I say often. There's an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast titled Better at Times. You know, I talk about how I broke my guitar that was, you know, good in a lot of ways. And just how confusing life has been for me. And kind of like the lyrics of that song. I think that's why I played that. The song I was trying to play, I couldn't even figure out what the chords were right then. And so I didn't. I played that. And that's called This Road. I wrote that, by the way. Like the lyrics say, you know, how fast do you want life to move, really? I mean, where do you want it to go? Well, where's your goal? And once you get there, are you done, or do you then have another goal? What I've learned is, oh gosh, God keeps us guessing to keep us in our place. And there's no end point. I mean, I've said this, if you want an end point, that's death. So that would be the end. As far as where you're trying to get in this life, that's it, actually. That is the goal, is to die. That's the prerequisite to being resurrected and living with God again. Like, personally. We can here in the ways that we can. So, where's your end point? Where's your perfectly structured podcast episode? Where's your ability to play guitar in the ways that you think you should be able to? You know what I mean? Where's your transcendence?